everybody, and welcome to Phil's Corner. Welcome to the eBay shopping stream, which we often do on a Tuesday evening. Because I missed last week, I'm going to be streaming today, and also on Thursday for the Hot Wall. But welcome. Though you can't maybe see it, there has been a couple of changes since the last stream. I have my internet's double the speed, so I don't know if you can tell. I don't think it looks much different, but hopefully, things will be a bit smoother in terms of my internet. We'll see. I also upgraded my PC just in general, so lots of under the hood changes to the stream. But despite the changes, we'll be doing what we usually do, what we've been used to doing now, and that is simply going on eBay and looking for football shirts, seeing what eBay has to offer, seeing the kind of things which you can get in 2023. And you can see behind me there's a very messy pile of stuff which I need to sort. There's a Werder Bremen shirt there, which was one that we got on a recent eBay stream. And there's some other stuff there. Over the years, I've enjoyed shopping on eBay. Lots of good stuff. Some high-end stuff. Lots of bargains too. Hey, Brock. Good to see you, my friend. But yeah, as people begin to filter in, I will just get us set up. Let's get eBay open. A reminder that if you are new, you should subscribe, because here at Phil's Corner we are putting out different sorts of videos all around football shirts. We've got videos around kind of unboxing shirts, and there's a few to come as well on that front, as well as some recent ones. We've unboxed the Scotland anniversary shirt, so you can get a closer look at that. There's also live streams like this one where we sorry, I'm coming over a cold, and I need to try and remember to mute myself. But if I do cough, apologies. We've got live streams like this one where we show it on eBay, also ranking new shirts, and there's a whole back catalogue of stuff. But if you're a subscriber, it just helps the channel so much. So please do subscribe if you're new. Thank you to all the current subscribers. I've also got a Patreon which has a range of benefits. Check that out in the description below. And if you enjoy the stream tonight, why not leave a like and a comment on the stream. Of course, we've got the chat window here as well. So Brock has already said hey. He's shown us what to do. Chuck in any comments during the stream, guys, and I'll do my best to answer them. One thing which I do need to add, which I've got and I need to basically set up, is a little second screen, because I'm currently using my phone as a second screen, which is not ideal. But, you know, we make it work. We make it work here at Phil's Corner. And I've been saying this for the last few streams, but I'm still not sure if I'm totally happy with the volume. So let me know if my voice is too loud or quiet, if the music is too loud or quiet. Again, because I've not really done some proper testing, and I've been doing this, I've had this latest setup for a few weeks, a few streams now. But please do let me know if that is good as well. Right, let's get to it. Let's get straight to eBay. I'll just double check. Yeah, we've got the link out on Twitter, so we're good to go, I think. Let me just bring up eBay. Interesting. I appear to not have the eBay screen there. So let me sort that out for us. It's almost certainly okay. Right. I think we're good there. Let's try that again. Again, since the PC upgrade. There we go. I think we're good, aren't we? Since the PC upgrade, a couple of changes. But I think, yeah, that's looking good. Right. eBay is a weird and wonderful place. There's many ways to get shirts on eBay. My favourite is just to go ending soonest on a really broad term. Again, if you're looking for specific shirts, I'd always recommend you go for things like saved searches or saved alerts and that sort of thing. But I also really like a general term like this, because you kind of capture everything, and sometimes you get stuff which is obviously fake or it's just quite a suspect, but you also get weird stuff like this. I would never search for a Sandro Wagner shirt, but that's a pretty fun fun item. Now there is some wear on the Evenix sponsor there, but to get a customized shirt and a very interesting template, I mean that honestly is quite a fun piece. I think the sponsor just put me off slightly, and a shirt like this, I'd be unlikely to keep this longer term. It probably would be one I'd sell on later, try and make a bit of money. But even if I didn't make too much money, sometimes it's fun just to get a shirt in and out and kind of pay what you sell it for what you kind of paid for, and I'd be happy. Although there are things to note, and this is something which, if you regularly shop on eBay, you'll be used to checking this stuff. So it's coming from Poland, which does mean £8 delivery. So I think, this at like a tenner, I'd be tempted. Although the sponsor damage, whilst not crazy, would put me off slightly. It's worth saying as well that if you were to bid on this and it was anything significant in terms of money, you would want to double check things like the name set, because that has the look of quite sorry, that's a very pathetic cough. Has a look of quite a generic name set. It could of course be real, and I think it is real, but always check things like that, especially if you're paying significant amounts. And again, it's about to end. I would not really be in at this price, but it is a fun, like, that's a shot I've never seen before, and I think that's the thing where I'd rather spend a tenner, 15 quid or so on this compared to getting a shirt which from a discount retailer say that everyone else is going to have. And that's no shade on picking up a shirt from a discount retailer, but I think eBay, you do get these little gems. So that is honestly a really interesting item. I didn't go in for it, but so as soon as we're XL, we talk a lot on the channel about kind of ideal size range, and I think typically medium or large is what we're looking for. XL is still okay, and small is still okay, in many ways. You can see here there's a Spurs shirt. The very simple Spurs shirt from a couple of seasons ago, but it appears, good looking kind of listing in terms of they've mentioned the product code, so we would have to assume that's real, which is really good. And honestly, I'm just joking. Is it? Yeah, okay. So it's just a replica, but that's again, 11 quid, so 15 quid all in for a Spurs shirt is great. Regardless of the fact that it is relatively plain, that's a really good pickup. Even in the sales, that would have been more, undoubtedly. I'm not saying you couldn't find it for this price elsewhere, but good pickup there as well. So a couple of good auctions already happening. These have all ended, so it's funny, this shirt, which was sold for, was it like a tenner? I think it was £10 or £9 on M&M Duet, and it's funny how people are still trying to flog it. I'm sure some people would have paid it if they didn't know any better, but it's funny how you kind of see these do the rounds quite a lot, given that M&M Duet sale from a few years ago. Rangers, a very interesting shirt here, another personalised one. Now I must admit, I don't know a lot about Castor's player spec shirts, because this is supposedly the pro version, which we can deduce to mean the player spec player issue, or sometimes called authentic. Looking at the shirt a bit more closely, obviously it's got it's badged up, and it's got the name set of Kimo Roof. Price for this one as well, not super cheap. £53 all in. It does, but again, given the badges, the Europa League stuff, and the name set, not too bad. Size small, and given that it's player spec, that could, I don't know what the sizing is of Castor, but it could be very small indeed. And it's interesting to note that there's no sponsor. Now, in this example, and I don't remember or recall exactly, but you would assume that in Europe, Rangers wore this shirt without the sponsor in at least one game, because it's very common, of course, for a shirt. For a shirt, if it's going to be worn in Europe, Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, etc., to have shirts that are sponsorless if they've got a gambling or betting sponsor or a alcohol sponsor because of restrictions in different countries. So either, well, I mean, you just I would assume that happened at least once in their campaign. And was this the year when they got to the final? I can't remember. But anyway, in that example, it being sponsors actually doesn't hurt. If anything, it kind of helps. I think it actually is a positive if it's going to be badged up as if it was to be worn in Europe, and things like the club-specific typeface speak to that. So honestly, I quite like that. This is one of those where sometimes you see personalised shirts and they're a bit, maybe they've got the kind of sleeve patches but no name set, and that's okay. But like, I kind of like the combo. I feel if you're going to print it, you might as well go kind of full hog. And I've seen examples where they've had a league-wide typeface but cup competition patches, and that's not great. Say the Premier League typeface or something like that. So this is, as far as we can tell, been printed up properly. So that's and again, the no sponsor actually isn't a bad thing in this example. I'd probably want to see pictures of the team wearing it at least once without the sponsor, just to kind of make me feel better about a pickup like this. But yeah, there you go. So not particularly exciting shirt. I'm not really keen on Castore in general and what they're doing, but yeah, very interesting. I think there's a lot to be said about printed shirts. There's pros and cons. I would say generally speaking, they can add a lot of value, but there's a lot of kind of caveats to that. It's not necessarily going to add value. Apologies. God, I'm going to have to cough again then. Yeah, sorry guys. Wait, wrong button. There we go. Interesting to see a shirt from Torino here, and this has just ended. But I like the look. I like the look of this one, and honestly, this is a really nice pickup. Now, what probably kept the price of this one down was the XXL, and particularly in this era, so anything around 2000, sizes were generally very big. This is one of the biggest eras. Now, of course, there are exceptions to that, like Kappa, but generally speaking, shirts were very big at this time, at least from a lot of the major manufacturers. Junior says, yes, lad, good to see you, Junior. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're well. So that, I think, for that reason, you can kind of partly understand why it only went for 20 quid. Otherwise, though, I mean, yes, it's quite plain, but you've got a lovely little crest there. Kelme, a bit of a kind of cult manufacturer, and honestly, that's a really, really nice pickup for that price. Now, again, it is big. It says size XL, so is that potentially XL, but measures like an XXL? No, so it does say XXL on the label, so a bit of a mistake there. But anyway, really, really like that. And again, this seller seems to be quite a big seller. Killer kits, good reviews, and honestly, yeah, the shirt isn't too exciting as a whole, but whether you like to collect, well, if you're after bargains, this is a really, really nice kind of. This is a good sort of range. Again, the size might be prohibitive, but at that price for 24 quid all in for a shirt from 2000 for a team like Torino, manufacturer like Kelme, I really like that. Really nice. And honestly, I think that given the size, I probably wouldn't bid myself, but it's definitely something which would make me, well, which would tempt me at that price. Really nice stuff there. Yeah, eBay, guys. eBay is good for a lot of things. Now, this Italan shirt, very sought after. I'm just curious to see what pictures they've provided. Lack of sorry. I've got a lot of stuff in my throat. I apologise. This Inter shirt, very sought after, but without any picture of the internal labels. you just have to assume it's fake. Now, it could be that they've just not provided it. But yeah, we're just going to move on from that anyway. 100 quid, of course, as well is quite a lot. Although for this shirt, if it's real, that's actually not too bad, given how limited the stock was. But anyway. Andy, you can see Andy. This is I bought from Connecticut for Small World. Yeah, it's funny how if you are, you know, a regular eBay shopper, stuff just, you know, the same sellers, the names do come around more often than not. Now, I really would like to add this Liverpool shirt to my collection, but honestly, even though it's player spec and has a name set and the C patches, the price isn't unreasonable, but the shirt did make its way onto the sales rack in the season that it was worn into 21-22. So yeah, it's a very, like, again, just more as a Liverpool fan than anything, but I did actually really like this shirt. To be honest, I regret not getting it in the sales because, again, seeing it go for this price, albeit just one bid, but from memory it got down to about 50 quid, I think. And of course this has been badged up, so it's actually not a bad price. This is one on my list though, and again, I should really have picked it up in the sales, but you know how it is. You know, you've got a few pickups in particular months. Sometimes even in the sales you can't really justify a pickup, but that is a shirt which I really like. And to be honest, as time goes on, it's one of those where I might have to kind of see maybe the going rate is going to be around this, albeit this is again batched up and everything. Honestly, that's more than I want to pay for it. You can see a second bid in there, so there's clearly demand for the shirt. Or maybe it's, you know, particularly with Firmino as well. Of course, he's potentially leaving it at the end of the year and that sort of thing. Interesting. And this is Liverpool in small ASOS for £36. There you go. I assume that's player issue, Andy. And is that for this shirt as well, mate? I assume. So there we go. You know, again, obviously, well, what size was this one? Actually, I didn't actually check. So it's player issue. Yeah, player issue XL. Now this is an unworn match shirt that would definitely need more kind of verification. The way I usually operate with these things is obviously do your usual checks with things like labels, and then after that, basically, if there's no proof, you shouldn't really be adding anything of value to this. Again, it's not a space I regularly deal with, so there are things sometimes which can identify a shirt as being issued as opposed to just player spec. But take that with a pinch of salt. Okay, the yellow stadium. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, to be honest, I would probably get this in replica as well. Although what I did like is that this is one of the examples of a shirt which was dry for ADV, but had a different kind of dry for ADV mapping pattern as opposed to the typical one that you saw on the season. Broadcast, lots of shirt collectors Stanson and whatnot. Have you thought about selling there? Honestly, I've not looked into it too much, but I will be open to that. It's funny, I've been aware of whatnot for a while, partly through Magic the Gathering, and I've kind of got into Magic the last couple of years as a bit of a kind of side hobby. In fact, I might even do some videos on the channel just because if I'm buying stuff anyway, I might as well stick it on here. But that's a bit of a side point. But yeah, so I've been aware of it through that more than anything else. So it's very interesting to see sellers on there. So yeah, I probably would be open to it. I'd need to look into it a bit more. But yeah, broadly speaking, Brock, it's certainly something I would I'd consider. Sorry guys, I keep I've got something in my throat, and thankfully I've got the mute button now. That's a big improvement on where we were a few months ago. But I will probably keep panning away, and yeah, hopefully it doesn't break things up too much. Julie says, I like the Serie A and want to have a shirt from as many Serie A teams as possible. Currently I have 6, but getting small size isn't easy. Honestly, the good thing about being so small, Junior. Sorry guys, the good thing. Junior, about being so small is that you're usually saving a bit of money. You're usually saving money compared to medium or large. So, it's not always the case, but generally speaking, it's a really good spot as a collector. And unlike if you're like kind of XXL, for example, a lot of shirts, or there's simply a lot less of the XXL shirts in circulation. XL is a bit better, but small is a really good spot because again, you often, at least from a kind of secondary seller perspective, as in like a marketplace, you're usually paying less for small shirts, so it is a good size. But yeah, availability can be lower. That is, that's a problem. Although what I would say is, again, anecdotally, yeah, I think small and XL, they still seem to be, they're a good spot. I think if you're conscious about your money, you want to save a bit more, but at the same time, medium, large, yeah, you see more of them around. So it's one of those things. It's a given. What's the word I'm thinking of? The phrase I'm thinking of. A give and take situation. There we go. Boxes. I bought a 2019 MLS All-Star shirt last weekend on the big football shirt selling weekend they had. Very nice. Very nice indeed. And Andy says I bought a couple of shirts from Football Shirts 101 and whatnot. I found the platform. Oh, so there we go. Some comments. Yeah, guys, I need to look into this more. Perhaps I'll try and get in contact with whatnot as well. I don't know. I'll be interested. In fact, whilst we're here, guys, let me know any other thoughts about whatnot. I'm curious how I saw there was a list of some sellers. I'll be curious to know what the streams were like, what they did. Because if it's something I could get involved in and it would make sense, then I'm interested. So yeah, that's really good to hear. Yeah. Dear me. I don't know what is going on, but as I say, apologies as I constantly pause. Hopefully it's not too distracting. It's probably more distracting for me, I guess, than anything else. Boxers. I was sad that the new USA shirts aren't available in authentic, only replica. Hope they release those ones soon. Yeah, it's a shame when some of these new shirts they're only available, in replica, and sometimes there's not good size availability for some of these shirts as well. Because there was a lot of good. I actually think the collection Nike shirts was actually not bad at all, and I got really excited seeing things like the recycled plastic on the crest, and I shared that, of course, on Twitter this week. Did a little thread about that. So there was a lot of really good stuff to come out of the collection. I think a lot of filler as well, though. It wasn't all good, that's for sure. Before I get to your comment, LA3, a few words just on this Newcastle shirt. It would, again, just from anecdotally looking, as I do on eBay occasionally, it's interesting that shirts like this suddenly become more desirable. Whenever a team goes through a situation like Newcastle where they get a takeover, they start doing a bit better on the pitch. What you often see is that people like to snap up some of the older kits, which of course have always had a degree of value and had a degree of appeal. But I really do think that there is a kind of cause and effect where when a team's fortunes improve, their older shirts, even from periods which weren't necessarily that successful on the pitch, become more popular. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that, but in general, it's one thing to look out for. And again, this is just anecdotally. I don't have any evidence for this, but it's something I've observed when this has happened before with teams like City and other teams which go through kind of major transformations. Funny to see the name set here, which is great because it's in the official Premier League name set, which I really do like. That old name set, it's very nostalgic, but of course just a personalised name. But I love that Mick 48, presumably Mick's age at the time, or maybe when Mick was when Mick was born, I don't know. Or he just likes the number 48. But brilliant. 20 quid, and that's with that name set. So fair play. I mean, that's the thing. I think, you know, yeah, it speaks to the appeal of the shirt, even though it's nothing too special. It's from that era, that early noughties era, which we talked about before. Big sizes and all. But right, let's get some comments. Good to see a few people flying in. If you're just joining, don't forget to subscribe, guys. We've got videos like this, streams like this all the time, and lots of other videos on the channel. But thank you for tuning in on this Tuesday evening. Anyway, getting back to your comments before I come to this barrel shirt. LA3. I'm in the US, I'm traveling to Amsterdam and Berlin soon. Any of us looking for vintage shirts from there? I don't have experience for looking for shirts in shops. Now, honestly, LA3, the biggest thing to do is, it sounds obvious, but reach out on social media, because the community are the best resource here. Of course, you can look online, but anytime I go abroad, I always stick a message out. And you know, you'll find collectors. Of course, there'll be collectors in Amsterdam and Berlin, very much so. I think you'll have a lot of success finding people, because of course, two major cities, and you really want to find out from people that live there or have been there before on holiday and things like that, where to get shirts. I did this when I was in Paris recently, and I found a great little shop. I forget the name of it now off the top of my head, but yeah, I wouldn't have found it, or it would have been much harder to find were it not for people online. So stick a message on Twitter or Instagram, whatever platform you use, and undoubtedly you'll find something. Of course, if you can't, you can just Google it, but yeah, there will be stuff. And you know, one of the really fun things you can do is also just look at kind of charity shops or thrift shops, and you can get some really cool stuff. You never know, but yeah, that's really cool. Honestly, it's a fun thing when you go abroad. I mean, I'm going to be abroad. I'm going to be in Malaysia next month with my wife and family. And I don't know if I'll have much time for shirt shopping, but I'll certainly look around, and I've been very aware of the Malaysian scene recently, so that's kind of cool. You never know, we'll see what we can find. But of course, there'll be other things on the agenda as well as shirt shopping, but yeah. Let's get to this power shirt, and I'll come to some more comments. But thank you guys, keep the comments coming in. And of course, if I can't answer them, or if I'm too busy coughing my guts out here, someone else will be able to help. I just really like this polo shirt. Now, I don't like the 888 sponsor. That is unfortunate. I mean, this is from the early days of gambling sponsorship, before we knew it would really take over the game as it did. But I just really like the kind of central band look, and it has a lovely little jock tag there. So this is, I think, just a really good shirt. I mean, again, the sponsor is a problem. It's an eyesore. But there we go. It's in small again. Nice kind of potential pickup there. Whether you're a bar fan or you're just someone who likes kind of collecting interesting shirts. Araya, very, very strong brand, and they've kind of come on really since this period. They're now much more established in the industry, much more of a player in the industry. But that is just, I just really like that, the piping on that band. I think that's just a design which honestly has aged well for me anyway. You know, I think that's one I would definitely be tempted to pick up if it was in a better size, despite the sponsor. The sponsor is, again, it is a real, you know, it's kind of the worst possible sponsor. It's a gambling one. It's got the whole .com thing, the cheesy diet. It's a terrible logo. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the one. And this one is a lot cleaner, a lot nicer. Nothing too crazy about this colour test shirt, but you know, the price is pretty fair. Killer Kits have definitely they've been showing up a couple of times tonight. Let's maybe come to their shirts in a second. I'm way behind on the comments, so let me just pause for a few minutes on eBay and come to the comments. Oh dear. I'll say, I'm glad I got this mute button. Right, Andy, again, I'm several comments behind. I would say that for the seller to make the most from whatnot, you need to have a fair audience at that time. It's a fast-paced auction, so need the views to get the price. It's a buyer's place. I see. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I don't think I'm enough of a personality in terms of on the video side. You know, the channel is more of a side hustle than my main focus. But yeah, very nice, very nice. Ellis, hello, I hope you're house about some retro. Probably want to celebrate the 125th anniversary. Is that this year or next year, Alice? If so, that is very good. And thank you to Steve McGowan. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Phil's Corner. Yeah, no, I'll be honest. I should have. I've given that yourself, Ellis, and Andy, who's also a Pompey fan. I'm surprised I didn't know that off that. Or maybe you guys told me and I forgot. But either way, yeah, love it. Honestly, Pompey, over the years, I've had some really good shirts. A sneakily good team for shirts, at least historically. More info on Whatnot. Brock says, I believe Whatnot is set up to start bids at £1 and people can keep bidding higher and higher till it's sold. I believe it's like a 10-second auction. Every time a new bid, it resets the clock. You can also pre-bid too. 30-second auction initially. Honestly, that sounds really, really fun. I think that's definitely going to be something I'll look into. Yeah, I really like it. Or the sound of it, anyway. Water says, do you know a site to buy an Al Nassr CR7 shirt? I would just assume you want to go through either the manufacturer site or the club site for those guys. You know, those shirts, I'd be surprised if any site was stocking them. Maybe something like a Classic Football Shirts might do it. But yeah. One also has a £10 free for new followers on your channel for first time users. If you set that up, put £10 free. You want to start buying on there after I follow Ellis. Put £10 towards a free England 2008 shirt. Right. Yeah, no, I think, honestly, I'll look into that. You know what I'm going to do? I've got a notebook where I put all my work stuff. And I'm genuinely going to write that down. It's a bit old school, a bit analog. But there's no time like the present. So before I forget, I'll end the stream and I'll just forget about doing this. Look into Whatnot. There we go. That's on my agenda. That's on my agenda for tomorrow. Just quickly before we move on, Killer Kiss. I'm liking some of the selection. A lot of training stuff. But yeah. Well presented. There's some really kind of fair prices. Very low auctions. I mean, most of them seem to be starting very low. Yeah, so there's some nice stuff on there. This is the kind of thing where this seller, yeah, it's probably just an individual, nothing too kind of mass market, but really, this is really good stuff. This is the kind of stuff which you like to see on eBay. You can snipe some deals undoubtedly there. You know, we talk about Serie A, Cesena, I don't know how you say the name. Granted, they're not often in the top division, but that could be a really nice pickup if you're into Italian clubs. Long sleeve, Losso, yeah, stuff like that. It's just really good. Obviously, some buying stuff, so lots of good stuff. I like the look of the seller a lot. Honestly, for a seller like this, and I used to do this a lot more, to be honest, but you could absolutely save them as a safe seller because, you know, if you know they're going to have a decent range of stock and the prices seem fair, it will then appear, I can't remember exactly where it is now, saved sellers. Yeah, you can go on there. And again, I used to do that a lot more. When I was more active on eBay, I used to do that quite a bit. Alright, so it's Pompey's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Pompey. Yeah, that would be cool if we could snag a shirt. Yeah, this is another shirt which I think I'd quite like to pick up in a cheap price. XXL, not ideal sizing. But that is, yeah, another one similar to that Liverpool shirt with the kind of checked aesthetic. Box says, have you bought any USL League 2 shirts? Vermont or Ballard? I do have. Ballard sent me one of their recent shirts, not the new one, but the kind of was it the third shirt, the one they did with the local artist. I really like that one. That's one I think I'll be keeping. Yeah, so that's one. But I'm liking a lot of the stuff, Buck, that we're seeing in the States. It's a competitive market now, and yeah, some good stuff, particularly outside MLS, to be honest. As much as I think MLS kits are in a good place in terms of design, but they're so expensive that it's often elsewhere that you can get the good stuff. That's a hilarious fan shirt. For Vissel Kobe, no life. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. in the USL. Yeah, lower leagues of the States. Let's have a look. This, I'm getting sick of seeing these guys' towels. We know this guy's a fake seller based on a previous listing that he did. Granted, some of the other shirts he has, or they have, might be real, but I'm not enjoying. Those towels are an instant warning sign. Again, just because they always seem to appear. But there we go. There we go. Guys, hope you're doing well. We'll be here for another 20-25 minutes or so. Apologies again just for being a little bit all over the place, coughing quite a lot. Thankfully I've been able to mute myself, but yeah, thanks for tuning in. We will be back on Thursday for the Hot Wall, so if you usual time, but for those who might not know, that's where we rank the latest shirts, and we'll be doing all the new Nike shirts, all the Nike's women's national team shirts. So there's a lot of good stuff there, and a lot of stuff which could get quite high on the list, a lot of stuff which is quite bad, but we're going to pass through all of it, and that's kind of basically be the main focus of the stream on Thursday. So do join that if you can. The timings will be there on here or on Twitter. I think is it 2 p.m. I've said 2 till 4 British time. So yeah, check that out on Thursday, and you'll be very welcome. Now I don't remember this shirt. This is kind of a fun concept piece. I say that, it could also just be a fake shirt. This is the problem where sometimes a shirt like this, honestly, I'd want to kind of Google this to make sure. I mean, let's look at this. Obviously, it's not for an actual team or anything, but what I want to see is this a shirt which was made by Nike, or is this just a random kit? No, what's this in? Paradise SC. Again, if it's just a fan-made shirt or fake, just like a kind of custom shirt, that has significantly less value. But you can see here, there appears to be a shirt with the same crest, a Paradise Soccer Club. So I think we can deduce that this shirt, or this team at least, exists. And that, of course, is a big positive in terms of, okay, now we start to think that this shirt actually isn't just completely out of the blue. I mean, what we can do is Google this code, although what I'm expected to see is just a plain white shirt. The reason for that is that often on shirts which are kind of badged up, essentially badged up teamwear, when you Google the code, you will and this is just the product code, it's a bit hard to see there, but we'll give it our best shot. 64. I just had my eye test yesterday, so I think we're good. 64. Well, with my glasses anyway. 550156. Yeah, so this is exactly what you'd expect to see. And again, because it's badged, and this is kind of good knowledge for anyone who maybe is trying to identify fakes or trying to figure out if shirts are real. This is actually what I wanted to see, and that is that the product code, the middle number there, returns the teamwear. That's exactly what this shirt is. And that swoosh is textbook, so that's good. So honestly, I kind of like the look of this one. It's a bit random, and I don't know anything about Paradise FC, but clearly they're, sorry guys, clearly they are a team who have a range of kind of custom shirts with different brands. Like a lifestyle brand, but I really like. This is kind of a fun sub-genre of shirts. Seeing stuff like this, honestly, I think is really good for the scene. And what's interesting, I'm just trying to look and see if I can find this particular shirt, and I can't. No, that's fine. Honestly. You can see some of these, $90 or so. Of course, they're not all that much. But yeah, I like it. Now, given the kind of the value of the shirt, it's not going to be super high necessarily, but I think for this price, I would definitely want to take a closer look at this. And this is a kind of peak, kind of festival shirt. That sort of thing. What I would like to do is probably find a picture of the kit. I think that's the thing where, I'd like to see this particular shirt at least once somewhere. So let's go to Instagram. We don't always go on Instagram on the eBay stream. But let's have a quick look. Now you can see, interestingly, 20,000 followers. So these guys are clearly legit, shall we say. And here we go. So just last year. And this is just, I don't know anything about the team, honestly, but this is the shirt that we've just been looking at. So honestly, I think this is a sneakily interesting pickup. I mean, looking at some of the shirts that they've had, well, it's funny, the Nike ones have been around, so $60 to $90. I mean, this is certainly more interesting than some of these ones. So I think value-wise, even though this isn't a kind of a professional team, this has some sneaky value. I realise, sorry. One thing which is a bit of a kind of not ideal factor is that 95% seller rating isn't great. It must be said. eBay's asking me to verify myself. That's awkward. Oh man. Okay, this is funny because I'm doing this on stream, but this is just, the worst. I'm always second guessing myself. Anyway, there's some more shirts, more Paradise shirts. Another one here. This one isn't quite as exciting, but this is absolutely going to be worth a bid. I think the main takeaway for me is that if I can get this for a bit more than this, I'll be happy. It's not a shirt which is anything too exciting, but it's clearly below market rate. And I do think, again, looking at their site, looking at what they've got available, it would be pretty fair, I think, to pay even 20, 25 quid for this. I'd still be pretty happy, despite being just, sorry guys, honestly, I'm struggling a bit. I feel good apart from my throat. And there we go. I thought I'd be over it by now, but I won't bore you with the details any more than I have already. Let's put in a bid. I think again, if I can get this for around the kind of price that it's on here, I'll be really happy. Any more than kind of this amount, I'm putting $16.99. Of course, it might be outbid already. You can see there. And the funny thing is, whenever I do this on eBay, you guys can see exactly what I'm bidding. You're very welcome to snipe me. Just one more point on this before we move on. What I like about this particular listing as well. Now this is a US based team, I believe. So you can see here. These kind of lifestyle teams are really interesting. Possibly even Hawaii, but anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, it does appear to be based in Hawaii. Very nice. What's really cool is that this listing is coming from Southampton. So, again, were we to buy a shirt directly from the site, whoops, not the car, you'd be then paying shipping. So anyway, long and short is, let's see what that does tomorrow. Time left today, so it's actually going to be tonight, so it'll be off stream. But yeah, if I can get that for kind of under 20 quid, I like it a lot. We'll see what happens. Right, we spent a lot of time talking about that, but I wanted to do that, and I think you can see here some of the process, things like googling the code and getting the stock shirt or the teamwear shirt, understanding who you're buying from. Is the shirt, was it actually worn at all, even by a non-league team? So lots of good stuff there, and I think again it's the kind of stuff which pops up, you have no idea what it is, but actually is a really fun addition to a collection. And honestly, I'd probably wear it a bit and then maybe try and sell it, and I think I could probably get that amount. And even if I can, again, like I do sell, honestly, maybe 90% of what I buy is probably going to end up being sold at some point, just to help fund new purchases. That's just the way I like to do things. And I don't always make profits, but sometimes you do. And I think that kind of this kind of pickup, I honestly would, if I could get it for this, let's say I got it for 16 quid, I'm sure I could sell that for 20, 25 quid. And it's not exactly a very big profit, but it does add up. It does help. But sometimes you buy a shirt and you actually really like it, and you end up keeping it in the collection. And that's really cool. Sometimes a shirt in person just really has something which you never saw before. Maybe it's a detail. Maybe it just feels really good or fits really good. So yeah, it's part of the joy of shirt collecting, I think, is that you do get sorry, a lot of hidden gems. I'm fully expecting Colombia to have a red shirt. I mean, they've had a couple of red shirts, haven't they? But this colour scheme, I think, ought to be utilised again. It's just so strong. These England concepts, so loads of fakes doing the rounds of that one. Indeed, that was another concept shirt. So there's a lot of fake concepts. A weird part of the industry, which isn't worth talking about too much, really. Lots of score draw. We're not interested in that. Wow, these shirts. I mean, obviously these are retail pictures, so anything, just immediately discount anything with just retail pictures, guys. It's not worth, unless it's coming from a retailer. Just assume it's fake. There's no. Honestly, I would just avoid at all costs, basically. Hey, there's a Pompey shirt. So this is for Ellis and Andy. Hardly a classic, and it is XXL. But there we have the birthday boys themselves, Portsmouth. I won't be bidding on this one. I think even in large, I probably wouldn't bid on it for this price. But shout out to Pompey anyway, for the lads there. What else have we got, guys? What else have we got? A bit of Real Salt Lake action. Nothing too much to say about the shirt, although no, it is potentially Addy Zero. Now I say potentially because of course we'd have to confirm it was real to get too excited. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell from the pictures. Nothing looks immediately off. Honestly, not loving the design of that one, but at the same time, MLS kits, I quite like trying to get them on eBay. Notably low seller rating. I think that almost by itself would basically put me off. That's not to say it's always a bad thing, but under 89% is low. That's very low. So yeah, bit of a blow there, I would say. Boxes, I can't find the Paradise shirt when I search on eBay. Yeah, try it. I mean, if you search Paradise FC, let's see what I get when I search that. I mean, obviously it's Paradise SC, not FC, so maybe that's where, yeah. But yeah, that kind of fun pickups, guys. I would definitely say for that price, it's a good spot. Oh, here we go. What's this? Brescia. Now, I like this one a lot for 15 quid. I mean, what's funny is you can see here. Yeah, from a mystery box company, and it's quite funny to see that actually. I've not seen this a lot, but when you see, I mean, it does help, kind of, in many ways. You feel more confident. That's the authentic version. Yeah, the Addy Zero certainly speaks to that. To be honest, given that actually, that probably isn't a bad pickup actually. The Real Salt Lake one, for that price anyway. Yeah, this I think is going to be worth a bid. Now the thing is, nothing too crazy. Obviously, broadly speaking, if a shirt's in a mystery box, that kind of speaks to its relatively lower value. But at the end of the day, this is, it's a Kappa shirt in what looks like the kind of combat fit, which isn't much more valuable or anything, but it is definitely, it has a lot going for it. Brescia, a team who we talked a bit about Italian teams today. That is absolutely, like, for 15 quid, I'd be very happy with that. Of course, well, let's put 16. I mean, these numbers, I'm not really choosing anything particularly notable here. I don't think I'd go much higher than this, but I'd be happy. This is the kind of thing you'd expect to see probably at classic football shirts for around this price. But to be fair, let's have a look. Now, we couldn't really do this with Paradise's shirt, but let's do a bit of market research. How much would this shirt be worth on the market? Just looking at it, whether it's 2021, it might be 2022. So here we go. Brescia's home shirt from this year, 60 quid. So there we go. I mean, that and again, classic, there's always a huge tax. You can knock off kind of a third, if not more sometimes. But that helps speak to the value. And I think, if the home is 60 quid, you'd assume the away would be the same price, maybe slightly less. So let's say 30 quid is probably what I would say would be the market value. That's kind of what I'd expect the shirt to sell for most of the time. So if we can get this for less than 20 quid, that's a good pickup. That's my kind of methodology, my thinking. Nice one, Brock. Yeah, sometimes eBay search isn't great. So there we go. We're in for a couple of auctions today, whether it's Brescia or Paradise SC. We've still got a few minutes. Let's see if we can get one more as we close out the day. What have we got? Still looking a lot of. I mean, this is interesting. I've just unboxed, of course, this shirt. It looks pretty good, to be honest. You can see, hopefully taking us to Germany. You'd want to double check it was real, check the inside labels, but you can see the price there already. I mean, that's better than some listings, but it speaks to the demand certainly outweighed supply. Not too inspired as we close out. I think we'll leave it there, though. Let's have a quick recap. This Brescia shirt, again, a pickup which I would like, if we can keep it. I probably wouldn't bid much more than this, because honestly, given the £4 postage, you're all in at just 19 quid there. But that's certainly something I'll be happy with, at that price. And then we also had the really interesting, I don't know why it's wrong section. Here we go. The Paradise SC shirt, which a bit quirky, a bit unusual, but for that price, I would certainly not complain. So two kind of similar items around the 15-16 quid mark, which I'll be really happy to pick up if we win the auction. And there's been some good stuff on eBay, as there always is, guys. I'm always even on slow days, slow weeks, slow months, it's just fun to jump on eBay, just to look at what's going, just to get an idea of things like market value, things like how shirts are kind of being moved around in the community. It's good for your own knowledge, just again, even if you don't buy a lot on eBay, just to browse it from time to time, see what is on there. Any final questions, get them in the chat as we finish. But thank you for tuning in. If you're new and you've stumbled across the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy the content here. We've got videos, loads of videos already on the channel, stuff to come as well. Thank you for bearing with my cough. I'm gonna have to cough again now. It's not been great, to be honest. It's been okay today, but then I realised I haven't been talking straight for an hour. That just about that's kind of pushed me over the edge. But it doesn't matter. It's been a good stream nonetheless. And thank you for your company. Thank you for your questions. And yeah, we'll be back on Thursday, guys. We'll be back to talk about new shirts. Nike's new shirts. Will any make the top tier of our tier list, the Volcano tier? Find out. Join me on Thursday, and we'll see together. We'll rank them together on the Hot Wall. Until then, I'll be on Twitter chatting about stuff. And of course, if you're one of my patrons, I'll be in the Slack. And on that note, do check out Patreon if you want to support me further. There's a range of benefits too as well. Cool. I think I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you again. I will see you very soon for another video. Until then, though, take care and see you on the other side. Thank you.